Today is the first day that I ride rain, not in the rain. It's a sunny day. Hopefully it will stay like that and we will have no rain. And I will do my first longer test ride and give you my first impressions, my first feedback about the Honda Transalp 750. So first feeling when I sit on the bike, I'm really sitting inside of it. It's very comfortable. The handlebars are in the perfect position. I'm sitting very relaxed. I'm sitting upright, but not as on some adventure bikes very high. It's more inside the bike, which I think it's very pleasant. Handling is very easy with the Honda because the weight is just 208 kilograms. So for me, very pleasant that it's not too heavy. Oh, here's a good point to check the brakes. Yeah, the brakes are absolutely adequate. Not too harsh, not too hard, but they work very fine. Yeah, the suspension is good. I like it a lot. It's more on the soft side, but this gives me a very good riding comfort. Takes away all the small bumps in the road. Very comfy ride. And it's so easy to handle. Leaning in the curves, even with this 21-inch front wheel, no problem at all. Very pleasant handling. Yeah, and if you ride the Transalp in the lower revs, very relaxing engine sound. Also the exhaust, pleasant sound. And if you push it a little bit, then it gets this kind of grunt. And the sound has a good volume, deep sound. And this bike gives me a lot of security. It feels very robust. And very smooth on the roads. So I think this is a very comfortable ride when you are touring with this bike. But of course you can do everything else too. It's a good bike for the city because it's so light. The engine of the Transalp is the same as in the Honda Hornet, and it gets most of the power in the higher revs. It has 92 horsepower, 75 Newton meters. And the torque, it could be a little bit more in lower revs. It's not that strong in lower revs. So this bike needs to rev a little bit higher. I cannot test everything out now because I'm in the run-in period, but you can feel it immediately. This bike needs some revs, and then the fun is starting. But when you try to ride it in lower revs, it's not that kind of a very torquey engine. It's okay, but for example, if I'm now at 2,500 RPMs and I try to push a little bit, then it takes its time. And now 4,000 RPMs, now the engine starts to develop the real power. Here is a small gravel road that I can test for a second. It's sandy, it's dry, a lot of bumps. And of course, standing on the bike makes it a little bit easier to ride these kind of roads. But yeah, this is no problem. No problem at all. Yeah. So the long suspension travel helps a lot to give you some kind of a little bit comfortable ride on these bumps. But of course you can do these kind of roads, off-roading, no problem. Oh, it's more a little bit of a bumpy road here. But even this year, if I do this with a Royal Enfield Classic 350, you feel the bumps much more. And here with the Transalp, very comfortable. And of course you can do some gravel roads with it without any problem. Handles everything perfect. This bike is also made to do some soft off-roading, so can handle these kind of roads with ease. I'm not planning to do any kind of off-roading with the bike, but it's pleasant if it's able to do some gravel roads just in case you have to take one on your road trip. Of course, if I compare it with my Classic 350, I was riding it yesterday, it's something completely different. I mean, the Royal Enfield has so much character with the one-cylinder engine, the sound, the feeling that you get. Of course, it's slow, yes, it is. But the feeling that you have with this bike is amazing. But it is very small. It is small. I was riding with it. Afterwards, I was sitting on the Transalp, and it's such a difference. This here is a real big motorcycle. And of course the view that you have in the dashboard and the handlebars, it's something completely different. With a Classic 350 everything is around here, so this means you also have to look a little bit down, and here everything is more in front of you. So you have the feeling to ride a much bigger bike. But it handles very easy, because it's just 10 kilograms more than the Classic 350, but definitely a much more comfortable ride on the Transalp. And with the Transalp I'm close to this all-round bike that I'm looking for, so something like a light bike for the city that you can go shopping with and ride to work. You can use it for some weekend trips, and of course you can also use it for long-distance road trips. You can put a lot of luggage on it. It's very comfortable, it has a good range, a big tank, low fuel consumption. So lots of things that I really like on this bike. I think I need a little bit of time to get used to the look, because for me it's something completely different. I was riding classic bikes before, and scooters of course, a Vespa. So this is something completely different for me. It's my first adventure bike. I never rode one before, but I have to say, yeah, it's good. It's very comfy. It's good for a very relaxed ride. You can do everything with it. It's a Swiss Army knife, and now I understand why a lot of people ride this kind of bikes. Even they don't do hard off-roading, because they can do a lot. They can do everything very good. So my first impressions absolutely positive. If there could be some things that I would change, yeah, maybe the headlight, the look of the headlights, and maybe the engine, a little bit more torque in the low revs. This would be, for me personally, better, because I like this cruising style of riding, and then it's always nice if you have some torque in the lower end. But it's okay. It's absolutely okay if I compare it with my other bikes that I had before. It's a fantastic engine, and in this black version I like it a lot. Yeah, so these are my first impressions. I will keep you updated if there's something new that I recognize on the motorcycle. I'm very curious about my road trip, which will start in about 1 week. It will go south. I don't know where exactly now, but this is always my kind of adventure, just starting. Take your mobile phone with you and you can book an apartment or a hotel everywhere on the road. And if you didn't do it already, then please subscribe to the channel if you are interested in the road trip too. And if you liked the video today, then please give me a thumbs up. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care, ride safe, and cheers.